Hey everybody, it's Doc Green, the Rhodes Scholar, coming back at you. This one's not really political. Some people may think it is. It's not. It's an explanation. Why is it that Anheuser-Busch cannot come out and disavow Dill and Mulvaney to get their stocks back on track or to get some of their people back or whatever? First of all, that ship's already sailed. Because here's the deal. There's several reasons. One is, if they come out and disavow Dill and Mulvaney, then they stand to lose a large portion of their customers on that side. So they kind of catch 22. If they keep not disavowing him, her, it, whatever, then they're going to stay in this funk they're in, and they can't sell their beer. And employees are quitting because a lot of them are commission-based and can't get their product on the shelf, and their products aren't selling. But they can't come out and say, no, we're disavowing that, because they do, the other side will quit buying their beer. And it's about a 50-50 split on people that support the LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I community and the people that don't. So they can't do it for that one reason. The bigger reason, however, is called institutional investing. Let me explain this to you. See, their stock prices may have fallen, and they may have lost something like $30 billion. However, that has nothing to do with the institutional buying of stocks. And when I say that, let me explain what happens in the stock market. These big companies like BlackRock, Vanguard, all these companies, they buy huge chunks of stocks. For instance, that both of them combined own a little over $1 billion worth of stocks in Anheuser-Busch. And they're not the only ones. There's other companies, institution companies too, but just those two combined own $1 billion worth of Anheuser-Busch stocks. But they have implemented these programs to see who they're going to invest in. It doesn't matter how much the company makes. That's not what they pay attention. Well, kind of, but not completely. See, they also invented this thing called a social credit standing, or whatever it is called, some kind of initials. But what it basically is it's a thing that says, if you want us to invest in your company, you must show that you are socially responsible. Meaning that we set the standards of what we're going to invest in, and either you go by our standards, or we won't invest in you, or we won't invest as much in you. So what these companies have done, one of the things is, you have to include the LGBTQ activism into your campaigns, or we will not be buying as much of our stocks in your company with our assets. Basically, they told Anheuser-Busch, and not just Anheuser-Busch, all companies they invest in, you must include a certain amount of your marketing and everything towards the LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K community. If you do not, you're not getting our money. We're not worried about how much money you're making or how much profit you're making or anything else. If you don't do this, we will not invest in you. Anheuser-Busch and Target and other companies have fallen prey to this. And they said, you know what? We have to do it, because otherwise our credit score, it's some kind of credit score rating, will go down, and these institutions won't be buying into our product, and we need them. We have to have them in order to survive. Because without them lending us money or investing into us or whatever, we go defunct. So Anheuser-Busch came out with the Dill and Mulvaney program, because they went to a company called Captivate. They did all these social studies and everything, and found these influencers have all this influence on what people buy, and they went with the Dill and Mulvaney thing. Target went with the gay pride, boys tuck your penis under your body clothing and everything else and put it in their stores. And the general public revolted against both of these companies and some other ones as well. Ford tried to do it with one of their cars, and their stock prices, really, what's Ford got to lose? Their stock prices aren't worth crap anyway. That's true fact. If you're a Ford man, I hate to tell you that, that's just true fact. So when we're up here blaming Anheuser-Busch for doing this, Anheuser-Busch is caving to the people that invest in them. And the people that invest in them are saying, if you don't do this or raise up the promotion to the gay community or transgender community or whatever the alphabet stands for this week, then we're not going to be investing as much money into you, and therefore your power to go borrow money for product development, shipping, company run business, whatever, goes down, and that's what happens. So when you hear about these secret cabals that exist, like the Masons and everything, trying to take over the world and everything, no. Here's who's really running the world: the institutional investors, BlackRock, Vanguard, and some of these other huge investment groups. They're the ones running the world. That's the reason you're seeing so many of these movie companies now. Like, a lot of people watch TV shows, and you hear a lot of, man, why are they showing so many gay things in TV shows? They're woke. They're this. They're that. No, they may not be. They're being forced to do this by the people who control the money. Okay, that's simply it. And like right now, they said in order to be considered, another thing coming up pretty soon, in order to be considered for one of the awards, movie awards or something, I forget which one it is, you have to have so many gay people in your movies in order to be ranked higher for an award. In other words, you can have the best movie out here. You can have a Schindler's List out here come out this year. But if it doesn't have a gay character in there or something, it lowers your chances of being voted the number one movie picture of the year or anything like that. And it's being handled by these groups. And then you go, well, why would they be doing that? First of all, it's controlled by the money. These institutional investors are telling them, unless you do this, we're not going to give you money to make these movies or to promote your other movies, these big company studios and everything. And so these company studios are going, okay, well, here's how we'll do it. We'll tell all the people making movies, you've got to include gay people in your movie, or you're not going to get these awards. And they keep pushing this agenda down our throats. Now, is there any way for us to really fight against it? Yeah, I guess, sort of like Anheuser-Busch, but really, Anheuser-Busch isn't going anywhere. You know, people quit buying Bud Light, but a lot of their products are still selling because people don't connect the dots and realize all the companies that they're supporting. And the same thing with movies. You're still going to go see a movie and everything, like DC, Marvel, and all those movies are still hitting projected numbers out of the park and stuff, and they still got gay characters because we like the stories. We like that we'll tolerate this in order to see what we're trying to see. And these companies don't necessarily want to include it. They're doing it because they're being forced to include it by the institutional investors. Just thought you ought to know.